Hello everyone. In the following video, I'll explain how to set up a pairs trading strategy using futures and spot. This is one of the least risky setups for pairs trading, and there are two ways to set this up. The first one is if you have a settings file, and you can use that for the setup. In the Strategy Management tab, you'll have to right-click and select Import, and I'll show you how this is done. So we go to the Strategy Management window, and then we right-click and select Import. When you choose your settings file, you will confirm it, and all the settings and sessions will be imported. If you want to save your pair trading settings, you can do the same process by right-clicking and then clicking Export and then saving the file. So it is quite easy to upload and to save your current settings. The other way, if you want to set up the strategy yourself from scratch, I will show you how to do that as well. Since we don't have many settings for this new strategy, it'll be pretty easy. Let's say you want to trade two instruments against each other. JPN 225, which is an index spot, and JPN.Z4, a futures contract. And I'll point out something that's very important. It's important to be aware of the futures expiry date, and you'll have to update the name of the futures contract. For example, Z4 in our case could change to X4 depending on the futures contract that is used. So you have to pay attention to the expiry. To continue our setup, we need information about the symbol from the broker. This includes details like contract size and trading hours. So those are the two things you need to find out. These are usually listed in the broker symbol descriptions. Once you have this information, we can begin configuring the session. First, we need to click Add Session to create a new one and name it. I'll name it Pair Trading Example. And for choosing the type, I'll select Fixed Session. So right here, and then we can move on to adding the symbols. I'll just use random ones for demonstration. So we can pick any company. An important note, if your index and futures are based on the Japanese yen, you'll need to add the yen alongside your futures and index. You are also able to use two sessions, one for each account. If you're using different accounts for indices and futures, and alternatively, you can use one session if the broker provides both quotes and the quotes between the two differ. So you can use either two or one session. So here I will choose USD Japan, and this will ensure the system correctly calculates your profit. Then I'll click Add. I see a field, and in this field, I'll add the index JPN 225, define the number of decimal points, and add the futures. And if you have two accounts for this, you'll be using two different sessions. So I added the futures, and once the future is added, I'll move to the indices tab. Here I'll add JPN 225, select yen, and set the contract size to 10. So I will make the lot multiplier, I'll set the lot multiplier at 10. I'll set the commission to 0, and then for JPN 225.Z4, I'll do the same. I'll select yen and set the multiplier to 500 based on what we know about this from the specifications that the broker provided. After that, I'll click OK. So I can also select Connect on Startup if I want, but I'll click OK. And I'm not going to go into the account details since they've already been covered in other videos, but I'll add something as a placeholder into the accounts to ensure the program works correctly. I'll pause the recording here so I don't waste your time. Okay, so once the sessions is created, we need to create the strategy. I'll add the strategy, select that it is pair trading, and click OK. You can choose session 1 and session 2 or use a single session depending on your setup and how you want to trade. The session that you created previously is the version that you'll select here as well. So I'll pick SharpTrader. That doesn't really matter. A crucial step here is to deselect closing of locks on Wednesday for the triple swap. So if your position is negative, this could cause losses. So it could leave your so leaving the triple swap unchecked is important. Because this triple swap will go across your negative position. We click apply changes. And the most important thing here that I also wanted to show are the instrument and orders. So you can add your symbols here by right-clicking and selecting add pair. You can enter the name JPN 225 and click anywhere else on the screen. And you'll get a list and I will select it. And for the second symbol, I'll add 225.Z4 and finalize my changes. So here, as you can see, here I will set that it is JPN 225.Z4 and select it here. Perfect. We have added it here. To continue, we'll need to configure the settings. For a 0.1 lot, I'll set the stop loss to 5,000, so quite large. The take profit I'll set around $50, minimum profit at 15. Trailing distance at 10. Trailing step at 1. Z index at 2. Time frame at 15 minutes and the period as 50. The next thing I want to talk about is time. I'll need to compare the time to the time on the VPS. And you'll need to either recalculate the time or set the broker's time based on the VPS. So you'll set the broker's time on your VPS or recalculate the time. When you load a settings file, the time will recalculate automatically. However, when setting it up manually, it doesn't, so you'll need to adjust it yourself. So in my notepad here, I have the specifications written down. For example, if your time starts at 3 and ends at 24, you'll need to choose a smaller trading window. So I'll set the open time to 3:15 and the close time to 23:45, 15 minutes after the start, and 23:45 is 15 minutes before the end. So I will set this up here, and that will be our final step for our initial setup. So this is how you set up the index together with futures. It's also important to monitor when the orders are open and review the ticks. If the futures amount, for example, is 10 times larger on one tick, you'll need to adjust by multiplying. You'll need to correct the lot, so multiply it by 10. And you can make these changes later on when you see how the program trades. So for an initial setup, they'll work and you can fine-tune them later. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep creating videos to help you set up programs and start trading. Thank you.